I slept with my therapist once. Ugh. I'm scared to read this. It's not that long though. I once saw my therapist in public. My therapist and I recognized each other. That day, we had a fun day walking in the park, eating out, etc. At the end of the day, I decided to invite my therapist into my home. And that's when we ended up in bed. I feel bad because the therapist got landed in a very bad situation, and if this encounter came to light, it would really end her career. After that, we had some therapy sessions, but we both were very uneasy. I couldn't stand the guilt of my conscience anymore, so I transferred to another therapist at a whole new location. Your therapist deserves to lose their job for this, to be honest. 100%. That therapist will take advantage of future clients. This pattern won't stop. Okay, so people are seeing it as a taking advantage thing. Let's see. Wow. Huge unprofessional behavior on the part of the therapist. And frankly, it should be reported to whatever board issued their license to practice. Wild. The guilt is not on you. This is misconduct by a professional. Definitely lots of responsibility falls on the therapist, but OP bears some too. Presumably, OP is an adult and should know better. Bad take. There's a reason why the therapist could lose their license over this. The balance of power is too big. It doesn't matter if they're legal consenting adults. It's against the rules for a reason. The therapist holds their clients' mental health in their hands sometimes, and sleeping with their clients is literally a form of abuse. Now, I'm gonna say, I've heard things about this where, oh no, it was an episode of, Law and Order SVU or something where, the therapist was making women kill themselves. That, I don't know if that's related. Maybe I'm tripping. Fuck it. So, I'm down to this comment where it says, wow, hard to believe. And then someone else says, OP seems to make a ton of bad decisions, but therapist is ethically wrong and could lose their license. So that got me because... What? How unethical. My mom's friend lost her husband to suicide. She found her son, mid-20s at the time, a therapist to help him deal with the aftermath. Him and his therapist fell in love, decided to stop the therapy and be together as a couple, had a baby, and a year later dude killed himself. Oh my god. Relationships between therapists and clients are a big no-no for various reasons, but they can be deadly. Wow. This sucks, but something similar happened to my friend. Married his college sweetheart. She went to therapy during the first COVID wave. After a few months, she suddenly asked for an open relationship. It's been 9 to 10 months since then. My buddy's single now, and his ex's Insta is full of her and the therapist. Oh boy. Jeez Louise. As a therapist, 100% of them... As a therapist, 100% on them for doing that, and they should lose their license immediately. Literally, any therapist should have enough brain power to not engage in any kind of romantic and arguably platonic relationship with any client whatsoever. You can't spell the without wow. Therapist, oh man, that's a strong take. I will say though, I'm leaning more towards the whole abuse of power, especially if you're someone's therapist. My view is, why would you want to be with someone that is not emotionally well, that is not mentally well? We should all be seeking to have stable, secure relationships, and I know that's not ideal maybe, but as a therapist, if you're trying to help someone, why would you enter a relationship with them when they're in a vulnerable space if they're seeing you for therapy? I think when someone comes to you for advice, they all are automatically seeing you in a position of authority. You solve their problems, you help them, you're in this heightened state of power. So I don't know. This one says, my wife told me when we were dating that she actually pursued a relationship with her therapist. He covered up everything about her being a patient. A year later, she realized they were not compatible and she broke up with him, and not long after we found each other. She told me after, when I commented on her seeing him when we were out Damn, my guy, the grammar on this is atrocious. She told me after when I commented on her seeing him when we were out as we all were about to enter a store. When she said it was him, I turned to get a look and he totally turned tail and hightailed it out of there. She later explained why he might have been avoiding her and I told her that I understand her reasoning for going there as she was in a bad place, but he should have known better. So again, abuse of power. And then there's just more people that just don't believe it. Disgusting. Your therapist shouldn't even have entertained the idea of spending the day with you, even if you saw each other in public. There's no vomit emoji, but, I'm adding for theatrics.